sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Well, thank you all so much for joining me and studying A Course in Miracles. I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks. Here on Lesson 137 of A Course in Miracles, we're reading from the 2007 edition of Foundation for Inner Peace, the FIP, FIP edition, here on Thursday, May the 16th of 2024. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Today's idea remains the central thought on which salvation rests, for healing is the opposite of all the world's ideas which dwell on sickness and on separate states. Sickness is a retreat from others and a shutting off of joining. Sickness is a retreat from others and a shutting off of joining. It becomes a door that closes on a separate self and keeps it isolated and alone. Sickness is isolation, for it seems to keep oneself apart from all the rest, to suffer what the others do not feel. It gives the body final power to make the separation real, and keep the mind in solitary prison, split apart and held in pieces by a solid wall of sickened flesh, which it cannot surmount. The world obeys the laws that sickness serves, but healing operates apart from them. The world obeys the laws that sickness serves, but healing operates apart from them. It is impossible that anyone be healed alone. It is impossible that anyone be healed alone. In sickness must he be apart and separate, but healing is his own decision to be one again, and to accept his self with all its parts intact and unassailed. In sickness does his self appear to be dismembered and without the unity that gives it life. But healing is accomplished as he sees the body has no power to attack the universal oneness of God's Son. Sickness would prove that lies must be the truth, but healing demonstrates the truth is true. The separation sickness would impose has never really happened. To be healed is merely to accept what always was the simple truth, and always will remain exactly as it has forever been. Yet eyes accustomed to illusions must be shown that what they look upon is false. So healing, never needed by the truth, must demonstrate that sickness is not real. Healing might thus be called a counter-dream. Healing might thus be called a counter-dream, which cancels out the dream of sickness in the name of truth, but not in truth itself. Just as forgiveness overlooks all sins that never were accomplished, healing but removes illusions that have not occurred. Again on that. Just as forgiveness overlooks all sins that never were accomplished, healing but removes illusions that have not occurred. Just as the real world will arise to take the place of what has never been at all, healing but offers restitution for the imagined states and false ideas, which dreams embroider into pictures of the truth. Yet think not healing is unworthy of your function here, for Antichrist becomes more powerful than Christ to those who dream the world is real. The body seems to be more solid and more stable than the mind, and love becomes a dream, while fear remains the only, love becomes a dream, while fear remains the one reality that can be seen and justified and fully understood. Just as forgiveness shines away all sin and the real world will occupy the place of what you made, so healing must replace the fantasies of sickness which you hold before the simple truth. When sickness has been seen to disappear in spite of all the laws that hold it cannot but be real, then questions have been answered. Again on that sentence. When sickness has been seen to disappear in spite of all the laws, all that those who think they know will tell you that, yeah, you're sick and here's your problem. Well, what he's saying is when sickness has been seen to disappear, in spite of all the laws that hold it cannot but be real, then questions have been answered, and the laws can no longer be cherished nor obeyed. And the laws can be no longer cherished nor obeyed. You see the truth, and then you don't follow the dictates of the world of opposites where pain is real. Healing is freedom, for it demonstrates that dreams will not prevail against the truth. Healing is shared, and by this attribute it proves that laws, unlike the ones which hold that sickness is inevitable, are more potent than their sickly opposites. Healing is strength, for by its gentle hand is weakness overcome, and minds that were walled off within a body free to join with other minds to be forever strong. Healing, forgiveness, and the glad exchange of all the world of sorrow for a world where sadness cannot enter are the means by which the Holy Spirit urges you to follow Him. His gentle lessons teach how easily salvation can be yours, how little practice you need undertake to let His laws replace the ones you made to hold yourself a prisoner to death. His life becomes your own as you extend the little help He asks in freeing you from everything that ever caused you pain. And as you let yourself be healed, you see all those around you, or who cross your mind, or whom you touch, or those who seem to have no contact with you, healed along with you. Perhaps you will not recognize them all, nor realize how great your offering to all the world when you let healing come to you, but you are never healed alone. And legions and upon legions will receive the gifts that you receive when you are healed. Those who are healed become the instruments of healing, nor does time elapse between the instant they are healed and all the grace of healing it is given them to give. What is opposed to God does not exist. What is opposed to God does not exist. And who accepts it not within his mind becomes a haven where the weary can remain to rest. For here is truth bestowed, and here are all illusions brought to truth. Would you not offer shelter to God's will? You but invite yourself to be at home. And can this invitation be refused? Ask the inevitable to occur, and you will never fail. The other choice is but to ask what cannot be to be, and this cannot succeed. Today we ask that only truth will occupy our minds, that thoughts of healing will this day go forth from what is healed to what must yet be healed, aware that they will both occur as one. We will remember as the hour strikes, our function is to let our minds be healed, that we may carry healing to the world, exchanging curse for blessing, pain for joy, and separation for the peace of God. Is not a minute of the hour worth the giving to receive a gift like this? Is not a little time a small expense to offer for the gift of everything? Yet must we be prepared for such a gift. And so we will begin the day with this, and give 10 minutes to these thoughts with which we will conclude today at night as well. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone, and I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. Let healing be through you this day, and as you rest in quiet, be prepared to give as you receive, to hold but what you give, and to receive the Word of God to take the place of all the foolish thoughts that ever were imagined. Now we come together to make well all that was sick, and offer blessing where there was attack. Nor will we let this function be forgot as every hour of the day slips by, remembering our purpose with this thought: when I am healed, I'm not healed alone, and I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them, as they are healed with me. So every hour of the day, he wants you to bring up the idea, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And he says, take a minute every hour and settle in with it. You might even tell yourself, he's encouraging you to, that last sentence, when I am healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. And of course, we'll include that in our song at the end. And then before you enter into your 2 10-minute practices, he wants you to take 2 10-minute practices, one in the morning and one in the evening, and then 1 minute throughout the day, every hour of the day. But at the 2 extended periods, you'll say, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. See, yourself and your brothers and sisters want their healing as much as yours, because it is yours. Okay, in our text reading, we're in chapter 15, the holy instant, and we're going to finish the section 3, littleness versus magnitude. And while you're turning there, what's going on around the world from holidays and observances, Global Accessibility Awareness Day. I'm thinking about getting a link to Starlink. Those are just little small, not much bigger than a grapefruit satellites, hundreds of them going around the planet. Anyway, if they're in a low orbit, so they'll eventually fall back down, and they have to replace them. But the thing nice about that is that they just end up being a meteor, burn up as they come back in. International Pickle Day. If you want to make pickles out of your cucumbers, the basic recipe: you bring your water put vinegar, half again as much water, and then quarter amount of sugar or less. And you don't have to use. You could actually do it without sugar, but it makes it a little bit strong flavor without a little sugar. But not over a quarter of that amount of sugar, and then 1/8 salt. And that's your basic pickling recipe. Bring it to a boil, drop your pickles in there, and can them. Okay, Love a Tree Day, and we'll talk about the all red purple leaf plum in our Love a Tree Day, which is the Prunus cerasifera atropuria out of Edible Landscaping. And what it says of the all red purple leaf plum out of Edible Landscaping: a colorful landscape specimen that produces a red fleshed fruit. David Ulmer of Mississippi reports, this purple leaf selection has proven to be a prolific, tasty, disease-free variety. It's the only plum I have that has not missed a crop in the last 5 years. A decided advantage is that the fruit hides under the foliage and escapes the birds. Ripens in June and July, self-fertile, spaced 12 to 14 foot circles, zones 5 through 9. So the all red purple leaf plum. And then a few more things that are going on. I stopped there on Love a Tree Day. And there's several things. I'll put all of them that holidays and observances had, but some I wanted to mention. National Mimosa Day, the Albizia julibrisson tree, also known as a silk tree. There's actually 600 species of Albizia, but the Albizia julibrisson is birds will eat the birds eat it, squirrels, butterflies, and hummingbirds. So you're feeding all those animals if you have a mimosa tree growing. It has been used to treat anxiety, depression, PTSD, insomnia. It's an antidepressant, And I found that in reclaimingyourroots.com. So that might be some interesting stuff. National Notebook Day, National Sea Monkey Day, which are basically a brine shrimp, Artemia a nios, Nickel Day, and Wear Purple for Peace. I'm wearing purple and my bandana and my shirt today. So wear purple for peace. Okay, now let's read littleness versus magnitude, and it's to take with you all day today. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. Okay, paragraph 6. We read that yesterday. Let's pick up there again in chapter 15, the Holy Instant, section 3, littleness versus magnitude. Paragraph 6. The Holy Spirit can hold your magnitude clean of all littleness, clearly and in perfect safety in your mind, untouched by every little gift the world of littleness would offer you. But for this you cannot side against Him and what He wills for you. Decide for God through Him. For littleness and the belief that you can be content with littleness are decisions you make about yourself. The power and the glory that lie in you from God are for all who, like you, perceive themselves as little and believe that littleness can be blown up into a sense of magnitude that can content them. Neither give littleness nor accept it. All honor is due the host of God. Your littleness deceives you, but your magnitude is of Him who dwells in you, and in whom you dwell. Touch no one then with littleness in the name of Christ, eternal host unto His Father. Paragraph 7. In this season, Christmas, Helen must have received this information on the Christmas season. In this season, Christmas, we celebrate the birth of holiness into this world. Join with me who decided for holiness for you. It is our task together to restore the awareness of magnitude to the host whom God appointed for Himself. It is beyond all your littleness to give the gift of God, but not beyond you. For God would give Himself through you. He reaches from you to everyone, and beyond everyone to His Son's creations, but without leaving you. Far beyond your little world, but still in you, He extends forever. Yet He brings all His extensions to you as host to Him. Paragraph 8. Is it a sacrifice to leave littleness behind and wander not in vain? It is not sacrifice to wake to glory, but it is sacrifice to accept anything less than glory. Learn that you must be worthy of the Prince of Peace, born in you in honor of Him, whose host you are. Again on that sentence, learn that you must be worthy of the Prince of Peace, born in you in honor of Him, whose host you are. We're the host of the Prince of Peace. You know not what love means because you have sought to purchase it with little gifts, thus valuing it too little to understand its magnitude. Love is not little, and love dwells in you, for you are host to Him. Before the greatness that lives in you, your poor appreciation of yourself and all the little offerings you give slip into nothingness. 9. Holy child of God, when will you learn that only holiness can content you and give you peace? Remember that you learn not for yourself alone, no more than I did, says Jesus. Remember that you learn not for yourself alone, no more than I did. It is because I learned for you that you can learn of me. It is because I learned for you that you can learn of me. I would but teach you what is yours, so that together we can replace the shabby littleness that binds the host of God to guilt and weakness with the glad awareness of the glory that is in Him. My birth in you is your awakening to grandeur. My birth in you is your awakening to grandeur. Welcome me not into a manger, but into the altar to holiness, where holiness abides in perfect peace. Now, that's a nice way to look at it. My birth in you is your awakening to grandeur. Welcome me not into a manger, but into the altar to holiness, where holiness abides in perfect peace. Or you might think of the wholeness of God in perfect peace, or holiness. My kingdom is not of this world, because it is in you, and you are of the Father. Let us join in honoring you, who must remain forever beyond littleness. Decide with me, this is paragraph 10, decide with me who has decided to abide with you. I will as my Father wills, knowing his will is constant and at peace forever with itself. You will be content with nothing but his will. You will be content with nothing but God's will, because it's your will. Accept no less, remembering that everything I learned is yours. What my Father loves, I love as he does, and I can no more accept it as what it is not than he can. And no more can you. When you have learned to accept what you are, you will make no more gifts to offer to yourself, for you will know you are complete, in need of nothing, and unable to accept anything for yourself. But you will gladly give, having received. The host of God need not seek to find anything. 11. If you're wholly willing to leave salvation to the plan of God and unwilling to attempt to grasp for peace yourself, salvation will be given you. Yet think not you can substitute your plan for his. Rather, join with me in his plan, that we may release all those who would be bound, proclaiming together that the Son of God is host to him. Thus will we let no one forget what you would remember, and thus will you remember it. And the last paragraph to finish this section, 12. Call forth in everyone only the remembrance of God. Wow, can we do that? When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone, because I'm calling forth the remembrance of God in myself and my brother. Call forth in everyone only the remembrance of God, and of the heaven that is in him. For where you would have your brother be, there will you think you are. Hear not his appeal to hell and littleness, but only his call for heaven and greatness. Forget not that his call is yours, and answer him with me. God's power is forever on the side of his host, for it protects only the peace in which he dwells. Lay not littleness before his holy altar, which rises above the stars and reaches even to heaven, because of what is given it. Okay, wow, beautiful. Well, you're to take 2 10-minute practice periods today, one as soon as you can when you get up, and one before you go to sleep tonight. And you'll say, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. And then take your 10 minutes. And then as the hour strikes, he says, take a minute and say, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them, as they are healed with me. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. Then hourly say, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. Your extended practice period say, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. And hourly say, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Just follow your peace. Follow your peace and see peace everywhere. Wear purple for peace today. And the word for peace in French is Paix. So may Paix be with you. Peace be with you. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Say this before your 10-minute practice. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is myself. And then hourly today tell yourself, when I am healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would bless my brothers, for I would be healed with them as they are healed with me. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Paix.